Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is day 116 of playing chess every day until 2000, but I will stop making this, videos where I share my thought process during the game because this is very distracting and I lose most of the games that I play. So I decided to only play a game and then just review it here with you. So after I finish the game and I analyze it and learn from it, then I make a video about it. I think it's the best way to go for it because sharing my thought process during the game and drawing arrows and explaining stuff actually wastes some time and most of the time I lose on time, so it's really bad. This game, I was like 1850, something like this, and the game started with the English opening, I think, c4. They mainly go for the d4 knight c3 kind of stuff, and I want to go for the Slav defense. And now typical stuff here, you try to get the knight at the f6 and the bishop to f5 and e6 and try to put the bishop out and castle the king side. That's it. And here I never seen this move before. Bishop to g5 attacking the knight. I always see them go bishop here, or they just play f3 or knight here, whatever. I never seen this move, and I was like, I don't know. So I went for my basic stuff. I just get the bishop out to f5. It needs a billionaire to actually do that. And now my opponent played bishop takes knight. I take with the pawn, and now I see his plan. His plan is to actually go here with the queen, attacking this pawn and adding pressure on this pawn because he's threatening to go pawn takes, and after maybe queen takes, knight takes, he just won a pawn and he's threatening a fork. So I'm losing a pawn in this process. So I decided to take this pawn, and even though knowing that he's going to take this pawn and attack my rook, and after this is actually equal for black. Even though I'm going to lose the pawn, I have to go knight to d7 to protect my rook with the queen, and now he will win the pawn here. Now, it's ironic that I wanted to stop making the videos where I share my thought process during the game because I wanted to stop blundering, stop making silly mistakes. And here in this position, I decided to attack the queen. The queen moved away. I decided, you know what? Let's just attack it one more time and lose the game. I was literally thinking, I was like, what? Okay, take this pawn. I'm going to take this pawn right here. I'm going to get the bishop on b4, the queen on a5, and add a lot of pressure on the king side right away. And his pieces are not developed. And I forgot that my damn bishop on f5, and he just took my bishop, and I'm completely lost. But mainly when I blunder like this, I just don't even resign. I just, this when you just close the phone, you shut the power off and you just throw it away. That I did that. This is most of the time I just do that. But in this game I was like, fuck this, you know what, let's just take the damn pawn here and just try to get the bishop here and castle. That was my plan, even though it's +2 for him. But he needs to get active with his pieces. He needs to get active. He played the move e3, trying to get the pawn back, trying to get a pawn. So I decided to play bishop to b4, just spinning the knight here, and the queen cannot go back to defend. And knight to e2 here will add some trouble with the queen to a5 here. Maybe there's some chances where I can just take. So he went here with the queen, giving me a check. Because his plan was very simple. His plan was, if you want to get the bishop back here, the knight will not be pinned anymore and he can just continue developing his pieces. And if I block with the queen, he will happily take my queen, and after bishop takes or king takes, he will be up 3 points of material, so he will be very, very happy. And for me, being down 3 points of material, being denied the ability to castle, is just like very bad. I'm down even like more than 3 points because I cannot get this rook into the game. So I decided to play the move knight to e5. Now obviously he cannot take this knight because queen d2 is checkmate in one, of course. Okay, I had to show this, and now my computer will explode. Okay, we have to. Oh, no way. This garbage little. Okay, so I decided to block with the knight. He cannot take me with the pawn because he will end up losing the game. Queen to d2 is checkmate. And taking with the queen, I'm just gonna take your queen, thank you so much. So this was my plan because I still wanted to castle king side and get the rook into the game. I didn't want to go king to f8 and my rook will be there like a dummy. So here he played rook to c1. He played rook to c1, defending the knight, and it seems very, very reasonable. Actually, I don't want to show the analysis anymore. That just turn it off. Okay, so rook to c1, trying to defend the knight, which seems very normal. Trying to play knight to e2 and everything. But actually, the best move for white in this position for him, which I did not see during the game I was playing, is the castle. It seems retarded to me. Like, what the hell? What they asked me to do? The castle and attack the rook. And do you know what is the best move for black in this position for me? Not to take this pawn, because after I take this pawn, of course, there will be knight to e2, and my rook is trapped, unless I want to give it away for the bishop. That would be, he will be very happy then. And I cannot maybe take this because there will be a lot of attacks on me. Something like this. I don't remember what is the... Yeah. But I knew that I'm not really supposed to actually take this knight. The best move is to actually castle. The best move is to actually castle. After he takes the damn rook, and now he's up 8 points of material, there's a draw here. And the draw is bishop takes, knight check, king takes, and then what you play, you have to stop the king from going to these 2 squares to be safe. Since the knight is holding this square and this square, the king cannot, run away from the checks. You just give check, he moves. If he moved here, he will be losing. Why? Because of rook to be a check. If the king went here, that will be checkmate in 1. And if the king went maybe here, we would have a lot of stuff. Maybe like check here, this, and checkmate here. And the only line where after this check, and if he went here maybe, you don't play this check because he can block. Yeah, you play this check, and now he's forced to move down here, and now it will be check here. Sorry, that taken too long. And now when he goes back, check. He cannot go anywhere. He needs to block, and then queen takes. So this is what I missed. What the computer is telling me to do. Just castle your king, bro. You're completely safe. It's a draw. And just give away the rook, which is idiotic to me. So I did not play that. And he did not even play castles. He played rook to c1, defending the knight, which seems very human. And I was like, let's just castle. He cannot move the knight right now. And my plan is to go... And he cannot even take me. He cannot take the pawn because it's still checkmate on d2. And my plan is to go here, trying to add more pressure on the knight and get the rook in. He played knight to f3. Knight to f3 trying to, it's very simple, just take the knight, and I don't have a checkmate anymore because the knight is holding that square. So, and the best move is to actually just take here, and after he takes with the pawn, I can just actually take. And after takes, there will be just queen here, and the rook cannot be defended. He cannot defend the rook, and he cannot take here because of a check. We can pick up the bishop as well, and here, if he played queen takes f3, and this is what this is what I was actually calculating during the game. If if he takes this, if he takes the knight with the queen, my plan was to go queen to a5, but I was like, I cannot play it. Because yes, I'm attacking this piece twice, but he can play the move e4, defending with the queen, and I was like, oh, I don't have anything right now. But actually, the move is to take. I don't know why not queen takes. Because the engine was saying that it's rook takes c3, and I have to play then rook to c2. He cannot take me, he cannot move, he will lose the rook. But let me just check with the engine here. Hopefully my computer doesn't explode. Why not queen takes c3? No, it's actually winning for white. It's actually winning for white. What the hell? The engine just said that. Queen takes c3, queen takes c3, rook takes c3, and rook takes a2. Wow. So yeah, I was actually right. I was actually right. The queen will keep defending the knight, and I cannot really win. So thank God I did not go for this, and I did not take the knight. Instead, I played the move queen to a5, and I was like, you want to take this knight? I want to give you a check, like let's say here, give a check, and now if he takes, thank you for the rook, I'll take the rook happily. And if he just tried to block, that will be very bad, of course. He will be cooked. And if he played king here, I was like, I already gave up the knight so that he will open up the line so that my rook can, on d8 can become alive. And rook to d8 check. The king obviously cannot move. If he blocked, my plan was like, maybe if he blocks with the bishop, that was one of the lines, and you just give a check with the queen to a4. The king still cannot move anywhere. He needs to block like this, and this will be checkmate. And if you block with the knight here, this will be a check. The king is supposed to go to the only square, and you play rook to c2 check, stopping the rook from taking the check bishop, you know? So a lot of stuff here I was thinking about. And here, after queen to a5, he decided to take this pawn because his idea was like, let me just take the pawn, let me take here. Even if he's gonna take, it's okay, stupid bishop, no one cares. He wants to castle kingside so that he can use the rook to defend himself. But I played bishop takes knight, and now the king will never be castled and the rook will never get become active. He moved away, and I decided to take the knight. Now I'm up 2 points of material, even though being down 3 points of material because I blundered the bishop. I kept pushing, I did not resign, and I managed to convert this into a winning position. And then he played this move. And it's very simple. Like, he wants to, if he's not going to castle, he's going to get his king to g2 and use the rooks to defend himself. So in this position, I played queen takes a2, taking the pawn, sacking the bishop, because if he takes the bishop, check, here, checkmate. And if he moved there, check here, and queen to f2 or queen to e2 is checkmate. So he cannot take the bishop, but it's still considered as a brilliant move. And he was supposed to go king to g2. King to g2 just running away to h3 and running away here. And that was the best move for him, but he did not play it. And he just went king to g1. And I was like, okay, you're just delaying the inevitable. I'm just going to take the pawn. If he takes the bishop, that will be check, here, checkmate, the exact same thing. So he went knight to h4. This whole, controlling that square with the queen and the knight. So in this position, I was like, I need to remove this knight from here because I want to play this check and checkmate him on the next move. That was my plan. So I decided to play the move knight to d2. Knight to d2, if he just takes my rook, I'm just going to take his queen with a check, and I'm winning this 100%. And my idea that if he takes the bishop or he just moves the queen, for example, my idea was to go knight to f3 check. And now the rook is defended by the queen, so when he takes with the knight, I just give this check, and after he moves here, this is checkmate. I wanted to give away the knight to remove the knight's control over this square so that I can give a check and checkmate him. And even in this position, if he took with the queen, which actually delays this, I can just take him here, and after takes, we play maybe bishop here, attacking the rook, attacking the pawn, and if he takes, that will be even better for us. The rook needs to move, and he will lose this pawn, and the rook will be active, and also we have a very strong pawn here. So that was my plan. And here, I don't know what he played. He just took the bishop, and I was like, I can still play this, but I lost the bishop. So if I played this and queen takes and rook takes and this, I can still play this check. And after the king moves somewhere, I can play another check because the engine said so. And after here, I can just take the rook. And this is still winning. Queen and a rook versus a knight and a rook and an outside passer is just winning for me. But I was like, you know what? Let's just take the queen, simplify, take the queen, and that's it. And then we would sacrifice, if he played anything else, we would play a rook check. He will take me with the knight, and queen to f2 will be checkmate, win-1. So, and this is not, he just resigned after he lost his queen. He just resigned, and then I just studied with the engine what is the best thing, but we just sacked the rook, and if he moved away, that would be checkmate. And if he just takes queen to f2, as I said, it's checkmate, which is really nice. And this game was not perfect because, of course, at the beginning of the game, it was like up, +2 for him, and he just won a piece. But I still managed to play and get the win, which is crazy. crazy. And I was not gonna make videos about sharing my thought process during the game because I'm not focused in these games, and I don't want to play a lot of games per day. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stop recording my thought process, and I'm only gonna record the game after I finish and I learn everything from it, as you can see from this game. And I just blundered my bishop here. I just rook to b8, attack the queen needs to take, and I take this pawn and get the bishop. I was only focusing on my plan, but I was like, I did not even look at this bishop. But I guess the only thing that that gave me advantage is that the knight is here and the king's not castled and his pieces are not active, and I just simply activated my bishop and tried to castle and get the knight and queen in. So yeah, never resign in chess. Always try to keep playing, keep fighting, and keep annoying your opponent, and you will eventually get a win. I'm back to 1866. Thank you so much for watching. See you tomorrow.